Good morning. How are you this morning? Did you hear what Aaron just said? It's in every one of us. Every Sunday morning, one of us stands here, or one of us stands there, and we tell you the same thing. And these are the same things we're learning as we grow. We don't know any more than you do. But whatever you're seeking is already seeking you. It is in every single one of us. And here to share just a little bit about that and how she got a glimpse of that is one of our participants in the Ultimate Prosperity course that we had recently, Susan Catron. Come up, Susan. Centron, I'm sorry. I knew I would get that wrong. Susan Centron. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you. Want me right here?
Mm-hmm. Wherever you want to be. Oh, you want to be right here. You want a microphone. Okay, it should be on.
Thank you, Sandra. 21 years ago, my husband and I had the privilege of having Duke Tufte officiate at our wedding. Thank you. Thank you, Duke. And just to report, we're happily married after 21 years, very strong. Little time after that, we moved out of this area and unfortunately away from the Unity Church. But on June 8th of this year, something inside me told me I needed to come to the service. And I'm sure you've all have had moments of those inspirations. So I made the drive in, and it made all the difference. Because at that service, I heard the announcement of the Ultimate Prosperity class, and I signed up. The first week, we were to write up a vision statement of what we wanted to prosper in. Would it be money or relationships or health? Well, I was unhappy in my job and felt very trapped, but I didn't see that in a vision statement. So I had a very open vision statement. I wanted a happily ever after life. I wanted an extraordinary life, whatever that may be. I didn't know exactly what it is I needed or wanted, so I had it very open. 4 weeks after I wrote that vision statement, things started happening drastically at my workplace. Unimaginable things that there is no way I could predict or even control. And I continued using the tools that we used in our class and practiced them. And a week and a half ago, I felt empowered and very supported and guided by God. And I resigned from my company. Lovingly, I told them when they found my replacement, I would stay as long as needed and train them. But then I was going to go on to where God had a place for me, wherever that may be. And it was unbelievable what was happening in my life. I would never have imagined it, and I'm glad my vision statement was open, and I didn't control that. After I gave my resignation, I went to my office, and oh my gosh, I started to panic. I went into panic mode. I had just left my job and had nowhere to go, no job to go to. And so I was scared, and I called Silent Unity right away from my office, and I prayed. And then I opened up my daily word for comfort for that day that I resigned. And when I opened it up, I knew that my answer was there. The word for the day was prosperity. It was unbelievable. I just knew all was going to be well. And it was just amazing. So in this class, Sandra and Janet and Ray are remarkable. What they bring to this class every week, it's a 10-week class, and it's just unbelievable because you can't wait to get to the class to hear what the next lesson is going to be. Even if you think you've been here for long enough and you know it all, or you not know it all, but you feel comfortable, you will learn all over again and be reminded, because they bring this passion and their talents, and the students are all they're supporting and encouraging and bringing their talents. So it's just a very good group experience to have, and it will stay with me forever. I am so glad that I did it. And so I feel that what I did in taking the class at that time in my life was life-saving, and I also want to just say that maybe you might think about it, but maybe like I was on June 8th, maybe God has brought you to this service today so you can hear Sandra's announcement of the next Ultimate Prosperity class. Thank you.
This has been a paid political announcement. The next Ultimate Prosperity class, by popular demand, we were not going to do another one until January, but after Ray Roberts spoke a couple of weeks ago, Duke got all kinds of emails and calls about the next class, so we will be starting one on September 20th. You know, the best way to learn a thing is to teach it. I don't think either Janet or Ray or I would ever say that we're gurus, would we, Ray? We don't know everything there is to know about prosperity. We don't know everything there is to know about life. We don't know everything there is to know about happiness. But we have learned so much in this process. And thanks to you, Susan, and all the other classmates who are here, all who participated in the first Prosperity Plus class before that, we thank you, we honor you. You have truly helped us to grow as well. I'm talking today about kill 'em with kindness. My mother always said that. If I went to my mother with any complaint, even to this day at 94, she'll say several simple things. Child, the Lord will fight your battles if you just keep still. I was never good at keeping still. Or she'll say, just put it in God's hands. That's what I do. And sometimes she'll say, the Lord will fight your battles if you just keep still and kill them with kindness. No matter how other people may be acting, kill them with kindness. It works. Now, kill them sounds negative, but I got this idea when Ray Roberts spoke a few weeks ago, and when I saw his title, I was stunned. People annoy the hell out of me. Now, I couldn't say that at Calvary Baptist Church, where I grew up. So I was interested in what it was that Ray was going to say about people annoying the hell out of him. What a Sunday lesson. Sounds kind of negative, doesn't it? But Ray took that and spun it into an idea, a concept that I hadn't considered, maybe you hadn't either, is by annoying me, you help get the hell out of me. I like that idea. Thank you, Ray. I love my mother's idea. Kill 'em with kindness. Now, kill 'em doesn't sound very good. And I actually thought about this title after the incident in Ferguson, Missouri. Every one of us wants to be the best that we can be. Every one of us get up in the morning and decide we're going to have a good day. Hopefully we're going to help someone else have a good day, but things happen. I'm not politicizing the issue. I'm not talking about Ferguson, Missouri. But what I am talking about is something I learned from reading Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning, is that even the worst of us have good in us. We make mistakes, but we are still made in the image and likeness of God. We are good. The first principle I learned in Unity is we are inherently good. I didn't learn that growing up. I learned that we were worms of the dust, born in sin and iniquity, and there was no way out, except Jesus had forgiven our sins. But that feeling that I am ugly and sinful and bad and mean and my spirit didn't resonate as well with me. Now, that's not all that I was taught. There was more to it than that. But when in my childish mind, I heard that in a very negative way. So what does this mean, kill 'em with kindness? There are 19 references in the Bible to kindness. Some directly related, some you read between the lines. But Matthew 5:44, Jesus says, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, pray for them that despitefully use you and persecute you. Now, can you do that, really? When someone cuts you off in traffic, I bless you, my son or daughter, in the name of Jesus. And hold up all of your fingers. Janet, last week during the discussion group, we were talking about this wisdom in chaos that she spoke about. And she said that when she gets cut off in traffic, when she can get herself into that special place, kill them with kindness attitude, she says to whoever it is, you deserve loving kindness. You deserve loving kindness. Now try that this afternoon when you're leaving and it's a Labor Day holiday weekend and people are trying to get where they want to go and they just barely miss your bumper. You deserve loving kindness. Proverbs 25:21 says, if your enemy is hungry, give them food. If your enemy is thirsty, give them water. On the flight back home from Orlando a couple of weeks ago, this lady in front of me was handing out little baggies with treats in them and a little note. That was the greatest random act of kindness I had seen on an airplane in a long time. Hello, I'm only 6 weeks old, and this is my first airplane ride, the note began. My mommy and daddy are doing the best they can, and I'll try to be on my best behavior, but I apologize in advance just in case I lose my cool, get scared, my ears hurt, or I have indigestion or gas. My mom and dad, AKA portable milk machine and diaper changer, have earplugs if you need them. We are sitting in 20E and 20F in case you want to stop by. Give me a smile and get some earplugs just in case I lose my cool, get scared, or my ears hurt. And I hope you enjoy your trip. Now, I thought it had candy in it, had gum. It was the greatest thing. Isn't that great? That was the greatest random act of kindness I had had. Everybody on that airplane was talking about it. When the baby cried, nobody went, oh, I wish I hadn't sat in this row. Of all times, I'm sleepy, I'm tired, I get to my meeting, and this baby is crying the whole trip. Haven't you heard that? You've probably been there a time or two. The baby, or the little kid that's kicking the back of your seat. You keep turning around, wondering, what are the parents doing? So how does this kill them with kindness work? Jesus had a conversation with a Samaritan woman at the well. John 4:42 gives us the dialogue. Now I'll break it down. Samaritans, according to the Jews, were not good people. They were not to be associated with. But when he felt someone touch him, he wanted to know who touched him. But the Samaritan woman was thirsty. She had come a long way to get water from this well. Jesus said, I will give you living water. And she said, where is this water, this living water? I'm thirsty, I want it now. He said, it's not water that you can drink, but my daughter, I give you living water. Now, others around him were very critical of Jesus at that point. He's not supposed to talk to a Samaritan. He's not supposed to talk to a Samaritan woman unaccompanied by her husband, especially. He knew her life. He told her to go get her husband, and he would give her this living water. And he knew she had no husband. He knew that her life had been less than desirable in some ways, according to our standards, as we judge other people and not ourselves. But Jesus didn't care about that, because he knew that it was in her just as it was in him, just as it's in you and me and everyone else. The Spirit of God is within you. We live our lives from the inside out. The bookkeeper in Atlanta, Georgia, in a school, do you remember this? A couple of months ago, who thwarted a would-be killer by being kind. The young man came in armed to the teeth, ready to kill any and every child and teacher and administrator in that school. This bookkeeper mustered all the confidence she could, because it's within her. She could have panicked, and he would have started shooting. But she started talking to them about her life and some of the problems she's had. And pretty soon, she got him to put down the gun. And then he said, can you tell him that I put down my gun? Can you tell him I'm laying on the floor so they won't shoot me? And they came and they got him peacefully. That's killing him with kindness. Had she had a gun and pulled it out from her desk and shot him, what would be the reward for that? Kill him with kindness. Every act of kindness has a ripple effect. You don't even know how far and wide that act will go. I had very loving parents. I have still my mother, who's 94. My dad lived kind of a different life. I loved my dad. But the night before my father was killed and he was murdered on Christmas Eve, 1976, I was 25. He said, sit on my lap, I have something to tell you. You're special and you're going places, but remember one thing, you're nobody if you're not trying to help somebody. And then he sang a song. If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, if I can tell some traveler that he's going wrong, then my living will not be in vain. Little did I know, he was preaching his own eulogy when the next morning we got a phone call. That lifted me up. I knew my destiny from that day forward was to use my gifts and talents to help somebody, to be a light for somebody, and not a judge. One strong reminder of my dad's influence came one day when I was feeling like the world was all against me. I was at work in the Federal Building. It was before the Alfred Murrah Federal Building was bombed in Oklahoma City. So people could come in and out of the Federal Building at 601 East 12th Street very freely, and homeless people came in and out because the coffee was really cheap. As I was getting off the elevator in my funk of an attitude, I saw a woman in front of me, very disheveled. She had double knit pants on that looked like they could have been gray or blue, but very dirty, shoes that were run over on the sides, a salt and pepper afro, a very dirty shirt, and 2 Venture sacks. And if you're from Kansas City, you know this is a long time ago, because Venture store has been out of business a long time. Those sacks, I presumed, held everything she owned. As I got closer to this woman, still in my own thoughts, poor, poor, pitiful me, I heard a distinct laugh somewhere from in my soul, and it was my father's laugh. He was a great joke teller. He always loved to keep people laughing. And then as I got closer, I saw that she was now at the register arguing to get a cup of coffee in a dirty styrofoam cup that was not the same cup with the river motif that our cafeteria had. And the cafeteria worker said, I'm sorry, you didn't get that from here. I can't refill your cup. Please, can I just get a cup of coffee? I heard that voice say, she's thirsty. Give her something to drink. So I went over and I said, can I help you? And she says, well, she won't let me have a cup of coffee. I said, well, let me get you a cup of coffee. The cafeteria lady was crying by then. She so wanted to help, but she was not allowed. The voice said, she's hungry. Give her something to eat. I knew that was my father, both of them. My heavenly father and my earthly father. And so I got a styrofoam container and I said, the breakfast line is closed, but let's fill it up with whatever you want, donuts, muffins, bagels, and I got 2 of them because I knew she had some friends waiting outside. As I was paying for it, when she opened her mouth, she had all of 2 teeth. No telling how long she had been in this shape or what her life had been. And as I was paying for it, she said, I'll pay you back. And I said, you already did. Just then, when I was walking away, this man sitting at a counter started beckoning for me, and I didn't have my wallet. I just had change in my pocket. And I thought, boy, I'm gonna have to feed the whole cafeteria. But to my surprise, he didn't want me to do anything for him. He wanted to do something for me. He said, hold out your hand, and poured in it all the change he had in his pocket and said, I saw what you did, and I wish I had done that. Kindness creates a ripple effect. Bev Allen, one of our congregants and a very long-time friend here, tells me lots of stories about kindness, and one in which last Christmas, a few days after Christmas, you know, the big sales, and everybody wants to barge in and push you away and get in front of you to get that one thing that's on sale after Christmas. And she and her mom were shopping. And she kept letting people in front of them. And what she would say to them is, you go ahead, you don't have very much. But remember, do something good for somebody else. And her mom they kept getting further and further back and further back. And her mom said, how long are we going to keep this up? And the next person that came, a young lady and a young man, husband and wife, she says, you go ahead. But remember, do something for someone else. And the woman said, oh, I will. When Bev and her mom finally got to the line to pay, the cashier pulled out a $20 bill and said, the couple that just left this for you to help you pay for your bill. A ripple effect. Unexpected random acts of kindness. We can change the world if each one of us leaves the sanctuary today and just does one thing for somebody unexpected. One thing. On the internet, if you frequent the internet, there are all kinds of suggestions for things you can do to be kind without being asked. You know, there's a day for everything. Yesterday was Holistic Pet Day, and it was also it would have been Michael Jackson's 55th birthday. Thank you, Aaron. Friday was More Herbs and Less Salt Day. I'm glad Friday's over. I like salt. Last Monday was Whiskey Sour Day. Now, I don't drink, but if you do, you miss Whiskey Sour Day. And today is Love Litigating Lawyers Day. Any attorneys in the room? Let's love on them. Love on them. So, February 15th is National Random Acts of Kindness Day or International Kindness Day. But I suggest you don't wait. That's too long. Start today. When you do something kind for someone else, you're giving twice. Once to yourself and once to them. Ella Wheeler Wilcox put it this way: so many gods, so many creeds, so many paths that wind and wind, while just the act of being kind is all this sad world needs. Give someone your smile today. Tell someone you like what they're wearing, and be sincere. When someone engages you in a conversation, I don't care how boring it is, genuinely listen to what they have to say. Give people room for error. When they cut you off in traffic, as Janet would say, you deserve loving kindness with all of your fingers up. Leave an extra tip. Apologize, even when you don't think it's your fault. Give a bottle of water to a homeless person on the street. Kindness shines a light in dark places, and it starts from within. It's in every one of us. Every one of us. A good friend said to me recently, there is no out, there is only in. So if you're thinking about, well, you know, the people out there don't treat me well, the person over there doesn't speak to me, there is no out. It all comes from within. So with that thought in mind, let us remember to be kind. Kindness is, according to Galatians, one of the fruits of the Spirit. As we take that thought into meditation, put your hand on your heart and think, how can I be kind today? How can I be kind today? Namaste. Our thoughts are prayers. In the words of Lao Tzu, kindness in word creates confidence. Kindness in thinking creates profoundness. Kindness in giving creates love. The Dalai Lama put it this way: "This is my simple religion. There is no need for complicated philosophy. Our brain, our own heart is our temple. The philosophy is kindness." And today's daily word, adjust. When I think of this word, I think of Bambi Shin, who gave us the mantra, accept, adapt, and appreciate change. Adjust. I align my attitude and actions with the truth of my being. Spiritual truth does not change, but it must sometimes change my thinking and my actions to align with it. The truth is, I am a divine being, and my life is infused with the power and presence of God. I align my attitude and actions with my truth, and I live the truth I know. With your hand resting gently on your heart, bring to mind someone in your life who has truly made a difference. They may still be here today. They may have crossed over to the other side. Someone whose gentle, loving kindness still resonates within your heart. Kindness is the gracious gesture of a loving heart. It can't be faked or forced. It must come straight from one's center of being. It is the soul's recognition that another person deserves the same love you give to yourself. It bridges our isolated individuality and shows us we are all connected at our core. This is how our happiness expands beyond our ego, beyond boundaries, and transforms our sense of self. Let us take these thoughts into the silence to enliven our core of love and encourage its movement out into our lives as we show up as kindness and joy. There is no out, there is only in the silence. And now, as we return to this sacred place, keep this thought in mind and carry it with you wherever you go. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if it's the last time you will see them in this lifetime. Extend to them all the care, kindness, and understanding you can, and do it without thought of any reward. And your life, I promise, will never be the same. Namaste.
Seek